Alright, there's a video for 2HT about exercise 19, 20 and 22. This is about the multiplication factors. I'm going to explain what it is in a moment. But earlier you should have learned how to calculate a percentage decrease or how to calculate a percentage increase. They use the same rule. The rule is new minus old divided by old and then times 100. And earlier you also learned how to calculate a percentage decrease or a percentage increase. Now if you don't know this, if it doesn't seem familiar, then please watch the previous videos that I made, because then I explained this. And here we see the basics of percentages, like how do you calculate 36% of something, or how do you calculate what percentage something is. So these are the things that you should know by now. And then I'm going to go to exercise 19, which is actually, this part is not something new really. It's just you have to write down what you multiply with to get the new thing. Here it says with 19a, if there's an increase of 28%, then the multiplication factor is 1.28. And I'll show you why over here. Exercise 19. If you have a 28% increase, right, that means that you have the original number, that's 100%, and we add 28% to that. So you get 128%. And if you divide this by 100, you get 1.28. This is the thing you multiply with, and that is called the multiplication factor. Multiplication factor. I don't know why I wrote it down. I could just point at the word over here. It says multiplication factor. Alright? So if it's an increase of 2.8%, then it would have been not 1.28, but 1.028. This is exercise B, exercise A, exercise C. When there's an increase of 150%, well, this is what happens then. We have the original 100%. We add 150% to it, so you have 250%. So the multiplication factor is 2.5. It becomes 2.5 times as big. Okay, now this step over here, you don't have to write that down. But if you want to, you can. But the multiplication factor is 2.5. So I think you can figure out the other ones. And then later in the week, I'll send you the answers to see if you did it correct. Exercise 20 is the other way around. Here you know the multiplication factor, but you have to say what the percentage change is. And that could be an increase or a decrease. The first one says a 1.84. So that means that there's an 84% increase. Because if I write down 1.84, then that's 184%. So that's 84% more than what you had. So it's an 84% increase. Let's take a look at one that might have a decrease. I'm going to take a look at, I'm going to skip these two. I'm going to take a look at this one. Here we have 0.32. So that means you have 32% left. So that means that's a decrease of 68%. Right? Because 0.32 is 32%. But then you always start with 100% and then something disappeared. Right? So if we do 100 minus 32, you have 68. So the answer for B is 68% decrease. It went down by 68%. Okay, so this is how you calculate things for exercise 20. You just have to see what the difference is with 1, and then that's the percentage. So for example, with this one, here the multiplication factor is 4. Something becomes 4 times as big. That means you get 300% extra, because 100% plus 300% is 400%, and that equals 4. Okay, so this is how you calculate that. You can try the rest of 20 yourself, and then later in the week I'm going to send you the answers. And now we get to a question where we actually have to calculate some things. So exercise 22. The first exercise says the parking fee in the city were increased by 20% in 2011 and then again by 30% in 2012. What percentage is the total price increase? Alright, so let me show you what happens here. Here we have 2011. This is exercise 22a, by the way. And then if you go from 2011 to 2012, then there's a 20% increase, because they say, yeah, there was an increase by 20% in this year. So yeah, in that year it's 20% more than. And then here again there was an increase of 30%. So here we had plus 20% and here we had plus 30%. So what is the total percentage increase then? Well, if you thought 50, then that would be wrong, unfortunately, because this is 20% of this number and this is 30% of the new number. So you can't add them. But if you do an increase of 20%, then you have a multiplication factor of 1.2. And if you do an increase of 30%, you have a multiplication factor of 1.3. And if you multiply those two, let's see what we get. I do have a calculator lying around, so let's see what we get here. I have 1.2 times 1.3, and then I get 1.56. So that means that this equals a total percentage change of 56%. So that's the increase that we have here, plus 56%. Then we're going to go to exercise B. It says here the sandwich shop Beneficio has made a €12,000 profit in 2012. Compared to 2012, the profit decreased by 30% in 2013, and then the profit decreased by 25% in 2014. What was the percentage decrease in profit in those years? Alright, so first it goes down by 30% and then it goes down by 25%. So what happens here is first we do minus 30% and then we do minus 25%. Like that. So you don't add these numbers, you don't say it's 55% in total. No, if it's minus 30%, that means the multiplication factor is 0.70. Because you have 100% minus 30% is 70, so this is the thing you multiply with. And here we have, you subtract this from 100, so then you have 75. Now if you multiply these two, let's see what we get. 0.7 times 0.75 is 0.525. So that means that you have 52.5% left. So if you want to know what the decrease was, you have to do 100 minus 52.5, because then you know how much how much left. So you have this. So the answer is 47.5% decrease. A decrease of, and that's less than when you add these numbers, because if you add them, you have a decrease of 55%. But 25% of the new number is less than 25% of the original number. That's why the decrease is less like that. This was exercise 22b. I think you should try C and D yourself. If you don't understand, let me know. I can explain it for you. But I'm going to send you the answers later also. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.